It wasn't until the Western man came and ride on his horse to eliminate the culture that we stopped doing parasite cleanses. The elders, the indigenous people since the beginning of the time knew how important worm cleansing was. It don't matter if you was a baby going at your grandma. It don't matter if you was pregnant. It don't matter if you was nursing. It was law. Deep rooted in the culture since the beginning of time to parasite cleanse. What the Western world do is make it like worms are no problem. When you have so much information that lets you know that epilepsy, the #1 reason for seizures, is a worm. Trichomonas is a worm. Lupus, autoimmune disease, is linked to worms. Colic, stomach problems, brain issues, mental illness, worm. So our ancestors, whether they was using the turpentine and sugar, the wormwood and the clove, you heard me, we was law. It was mandatory, like the sun rise and the moon set, for you to do a worm cleanse, because your life will wreak havoc upon you if these worms get into the brain, which they can do. They can navigate through the blood system and hide, and especially when we're doing things that they are allowing to hide the parasites inside our body. As far as heavy metals are concerned, which is mercury, which are the silvers in your mouth, which are the shots that we get. It's real, it is what it is, which makes it even more difficult to get rid of your parasites, to get rid of your worms, because they knew that we hold the secrets that we was worm cleansing, so they just hush, shot it under the books and say, oh no, we don't do worm cleansing here. That's not important to do. That's just, oh no, erase that from your mind. No, because if you think about it, worms is the reason for a lot of ailments. How in the world can you have enough blood and not be anemic when you got a worm stuck in your blood? How in the world you gonna think for yourself and have a spiritual connection to God when you got a worm in your brain? How in the world you gonna make choices to get married and procreate with the correct man when you got worms in your uterus and he got worms in his prostate? I mean, let's talk about it. How in the world are you going to be able to digest things, right? That's how you know you got a worm when you tell me, I can't eat no mango, I'm allergic. But you can eat a snickerdoodle. But I see you eating ice cream, though. That's a worm. So how could you be the best of who you can be with worms in your body? It is mandatory. It is law. It is written down in the stones of the world. Parasite cleansing.